we had just moved to Florida. We had been for about a year before looking for churches and kept finding a lot of dead churches. Our prayer was that the Lord would lead us to a church where He needs us, would use us, and where His presence can be found. We walked into Hillside, and what we found was two things. A small congregation that was struggling to meet with God. Their heart, their desire was to experience God in a great way. We also sensed that the Holy Spirit was seeking to manifest Himself in a great way. But the two couldn't come together. And we saw the hunger, and we sensed God calling us to this place. We cried that day. We don't know whether we cried because the Lord spoke to us or because the Lord had called us to this place. But we knew this is where He wanted us, and so this is where we wound up.
When we walked in May of 2017, it was a very loving church. It was a church that was a little bit back in time. And we said, oh, okay. But still, we felt the presence of the Lord here. And we said, and like my husband said, we're praying for a church where we can serve, where we can help to build others up. And I think the Lord answered that prayer, and we're really, really excited to see what's happening. I think it's been pretty amazing the way that God is sending people here in answer to prayer. I mean, just as something simple as two drummers. You know, we've been praying for so long for just the one, and agreeing with you in prayer about that, and just sending all kinds of people from different places. And my prayer is now that as we see the church growing and just the Spirit moving, that each one would know what their spiritual gift is and get involved in using that spiritual gift for the equipping of the saints, for the building up of the body, so that we can make a greater impact on this community.
Yeah, what we've seen is a lot of answer to prayer, and it began with praying for a pastor. We began praying for the worship, and I think we learned something very important in those early days, that worship that the Lord is seeking and honors does not have to do with instruments, does not have to do with the style of music or the type of music, but the heart of the worshiper. And we saw the heart of this church begin to grow for worship. And it taught us, this is what's important to God, worship. And as we became faithful to worshiping Him, He then began providing us with guitarists and drummers and keyboardists. And it's like, okay, you can worship now. Now we're going to make it even more powerful for you. And that's what we're seeing at this point. We're seeing a powerful worship, an honoring of God, a blessing of God, and we see Him showing up. And so those prayers, the prayers of the people that said, we want to experience God in a greater way, is coming to fruition here. We thank God for a pastor who is open to hear and to listen and to move in how God is leading him. We're excited that the youth in this church is really growing. It's not what God has called us to do, even though that's how we started together, doing junior high school youth in East Harlem. But we sense that our ministry is to adults and to the church, and to see and be there beside Christ as He grows His church.
So we're going through Deuteronomy of all books. My husband and I are nightly, and as we're going through chapter 2, I felt that this was a verse that was also applicable to Hillside. It just kind of jumped out at me. And Deuteronomy 2:7 says, speaking to Israel while in the wilderness, for the Lord your God has blessed you in all the work of your hands. And further in the verse it says, these 40 years the Lord your God has been with you and you have lacked nothing. And I feel that the Lord has always been with this church, and he continues to be in this church to show himself faithful. And we just need to continue to walk and be in tune with the Spirit. And the Lord will get us there to have that impact on this community and the world that he wants us to.
Well, it's just exciting to see, 80 people in the church right now. And it's 80 worshipers. They're people who are seeking God, not coming in to say, okay, feed me, entertain me, show me. They're there to worship. And that's exciting.